To other news now, this country and the United Kingdom are joining forces in the fight against terrorism. A Memorandum of Understanding was signed between the two countries at the Ministry of National Security today. National Security Minister Edmund Dillon says this will enable the countries to exchange intelligence at the top levels. Wason reports.
The National Security Minister says the MOU is just a continuation of a relationship this country has had with the UK, dating back to the 18th century when the British took over rule from Spain. He says the MOU will allow for an exchange of information at a high level.
For example, we know that anecdotally there are a number of Trinidad and Tobago citizens abroad. How do we verify that? It's really by through high-level discussion and information and intelligence sharing. And we get the specific confirmation or verification that they are in fact Trinidad and Tobago citizens through our international partners, in this case the United Kingdom and to some extent the United States.
Lord Ahmad of Wimbledon, who is the Minister of State for the Commonwealth and the United Nations in the UK government, stressed the importance of countries working together.
That global terrorism is evolving and the threat is ever evolving. In terms of what's happened on the streets of the United Kingdom, in Manchester, as the Minister alluded to, and in London, we are very cognizant, as we all should be, that the terrorists will use any instrument. The other thing they now use is, there used to be something called the sanctity of your own life. They don't care much for that either.
Among those who attended the MOU signing were Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi and Chief of Defence Staff Commodore Hayden Pritchard. Wason, C News.
And talks on combating terrorism and radicalism were also held with the United States. Engaged in the talks with the National Security Minister and head of the U.S. Southern Command, Admiral Kurt Tidd. The two men held a news conference to share some of what they discussed. Cherrylene has the details.
Trinidad and Tobago is seeking to partner with international allies on matters of national security. Discussions centered around security have been held with Admiral Kurt Tidd of the U.S. Southern Command. Minister Dillon said they had 2 days of fruitful discussions.
Strengthening the relationship between the United States government and the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in the area of defense and security. As you're aware, Trinidad and Tobago enjoys a very long-standing partnership with the United States government in the areas of defense and security. And we continue to build on those relationships as we treated issues in our security environment that confront both countries, in fact confront the entire hemisphere.
Minister Dillon said maritime security was also discussed.
We're dealing with the issues of terrorism, of course, form part of that landscape because we cannot, even as a country, Trinidad and Tobago, we cannot escape the issues of terrorism and the whole question of returning foreign terrorist fighters and so on. We also deal with issues that, with respect to our maritime security environment, issues pertinent to Trinidad and Tobago, the movement of illegal guns, the movement of illegal drugs, the movement of people to some extent, which we treated on a daily basis in Trinidad and Tobago.
Admiral Tidd said he saluted Trinidad and Tobago for its efforts in tackling terrorism and radicalism.
To discuss security issues of mutual concern to our nations and the region. Our bilateral and regional cooperation is crucial to confronting these shared threats. The United States respects and values the significant contributions that Trinidad and Tobago makes to stability in the Caribbean and the hemisphere. We appreciate the opportunity to share perspectives and ideas on effective ways to collaborate against threats of mutual concern.
The meeting was also aimed at building institutional relationships. Cherrylene, C News.